Hello all y'all. I was building some Athabasca models caboose trucks, and these are soldered out of photo-etch, so I thought I would show how I build these up. I've got these parts together, and I would also show you my resistant soldering unit and how it works. So basically, this is a side frame here, and I have to build up a bearing box on top of it out of 3 pieces, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and I'll do that with a resistant soldering unit. This is the unit here. I got it from PBL, which is still available. I know Micromark sells the American Beauty type, but I have the PBL version. It's a 300 watt unit. It comes with the probe, or the stinger probe, and it also comes with a tweezer setup, so you can clamp the parts and then energize the resistant soldering unit and create a current flow through the part, and it heats up and melts the solder. For the probe type, you have a ground here that's connected to a piece of metal or the part that you're trying to solder, and then you touch this on top of the other part and you energize the circuit, you create a current, and it melts the solder. There is a foot pedal, which is down here, that is used to control on and off, so you can get everything lined up, and then put the probe on the part, press down on this, it energizes, let go, it de-energizes. That way you can cut the current off while still holding the parts down, and they won't move, and then when the solder cools, they won't move anymore. With the tweezer, you can connect the tweezer, clamp it together, then hit the foot pedal, and it puts the circuit through. So it works really slick for soldering metal parts together. I'll work on these. I'll do one set. The model pattern, let's zoom in a little bit here. I may have to refocus too. Let me just refocus that a little bit. There we go. So the parts actually have holes in them for alignment, and I use a piece of wire and push a piece of wire through it so that I can stack all the parts up using the holes that are on them. If the holes are too small, I have a set of reamers that I got that are very handy. These are cutting reamers from France. They come in multiple sizes, and they can be used to widen out a hole or make it a slightly bigger diameter. So what we need is one of these parts with the dimple to fit the hole where the axle goes through for the wheel set. That will go on here. Let's see if it'll go on. Yeah, that's on. Now for solder, I'm using Carr's solder paste, and this is finely ground up solder, low temp solder with the flux, liquid flux, and it basically, you can just apply it like a paint to the part. Not sure if you can see that, but I just smear a little bit on there. I'll sand off the rest of it once it's melted and get that cleaned up. But if I do that, I can hold that part on. More solder for the next layer, which is this one. We'll get it on. Right there. Okay, and then the last one is a little bit different. It has a step in it that I need to make sure I put in the right spot. Right there. I'm not sure if you can see the step, but there's a little tiny step right in there. That's not focused very well. Let's try that. Yeah, well, you're going to have to trust me that there's a little step in there. So basically we have that stacked up. Then I can come down here, and I have the ground connected to a steel ruler which is taped to a piece of ceramic tile, and this is my one part of my connection. So I can put the part here, I can use a pair of tweezers. I can line it all up and sandwich it all like that. And then I can use the tweezers to get it lined up the way it's supposed to be, 90 degrees to the rest of it. Come in here, turn on my resistance soldering iron. I've got it set on 2, which is fairly low power. And then come in here, make contact, and then reach down with my foot and energize it. And I don't know if you can hear the sizzle, but it's sizzling. There's a little bit of smoke. The solder's melted. And it looks like it's a little bit offline. So let's see if we can fix that up a little bit. That's good enough, I guess. And that's it. It's done. It's connected. Now I have to do that on the other side here, and then once that's done, this part, I'll show you another one that I've done. This is another one that's been done, but this surface here needs to be sanded at an angle, and then there's a bearing box cover that goes on, which looks like that. And then everything you get cleaned up with files and sanding sticks, and I may hit it with a little bit of surfacer to fill in the etchings, because they didn't they're partially etched, and there's a little bit of you know, cutaway that you get when you do thick brass etchings. But then these will be done, and then the bolsters will go on here, and the tabs get folded over to give you a little bit of flexibility and movement so it rides the tracks properly. And then there are two number 3 KD springs that go in here and here, and there's locating tabs for them so that they replicate the springs that are on these trucks. These were used on tenders behind steam locomotives, and that's where I intend to use them if I ever build a steam tender. I have one of their kits for a New York Central 10-wheeler tender, but I have not built that yet. So thought I'd just show you that and give you an idea of what resistance soldering looks like. Very handy tool if you're building in brass or anything else that you can solder that's metallic. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.